Okay, my friends, here it is. The Saturday morning live stream at the Garden Like a Viking headquarters, Zone 5/6, Northern Indiana. And we got a kind of truncated one today, okay? We got to have a little bit shortened. Sorry about that. We have to have a little bit shortened of one today because we are going to the sort of fall festival. We're taking Tegan, we're taking Grayson, who's my brother's stepson, and we're all going. And we're going to go. It's my aunt and uncle. They own a farm, like a real industrial agriculture farm. And they also put on a little agro-tourism. Is that what you call it? Where they set up all kinds of like farm-related games. There's like a corn maze. They plant. I think it's an acre or maybe 5 acres. It's quite a bit. The maze is big. They plant it just for this purpose. And then they get up on a lift and they do the maze and stuff. And then they've got all kinds of they got like a hamster ball that you put the kids in and kick it around and stuff like that. So it's super cool. It's a lot of fun. And today is like family day. So they are, so we're all going to go there today. Okay. Let me just shut this window real quick. Whoops. So guys, let me know where you're at, what you still got growing in the garden. Believe it or not, we don't have a frost yet. The peppers are still producing peppers out there. Can you believe that? I know most people are long over the growing season, but we're still going pretty strong here. Okay, so I just briefly read through some of the comments before I press play, and so I read some of you guys's, and looks like Look to Nature is going over some of the older lives, which is an awesome thing to do, guys. The YouTube world is unfortunately it's like there's like this thing where they think that older content is less relevant somehow, but in this realm, the gardening realm, it's all totally relevant. I mean, there are some things, if you go back several years, there are some things that we have evolved and distilled. Of course, we're always learning new things, we're always experimenting, we're always discovering new things, we're always implementing new things, and that has not stopped. Just because the YouTube content has stopped for this season doesn't mean that any of that has stopped. It's actually ramped up more than ever. So definitely don't be afraid if you're out in the garden, or if you're taking a long drive, or if you're taking, or for whatever, put in one of the old ones, and there's always something. Someone will ask the right question, or somebody will make the right comment, or you'll see the right comment, and you'll learn more, which is what it's all about. Okay. So, yes, I hear you guys talking about garlic. We have not even put in the garlic yet. All right. We have not put in the garlic yet. But I want to know about your experience. Look to Nature says the first round is in 150 cloves of Montana Giant, Mataki, Music, and Siberian Red in 2 by 10 foot raised bed. Okay, 150 cloves altogether. That's pretty close. That's real close, because I don't know if we have that many in a 4 by 10 foot bed. I would have to count. But yeah. So I want to know how you do with that, how that goes. So it just now, from Halloween to Thanksgiving, is the time in Northern Indiana, at least, that you want to plant garlic. So we're just now entering the time when we should be planting. So I think that we are going to make a field trip out to the Viking North Plot tomorrow. Heads up, Viking Uncle, if you're watching this. And we're going to do several things. We're going to, one, plant garlic. 2, although that's not the most pressing thing, actually, because we have several more weeks that we could do that. So actually, the most pressing thing is harvesting those potatoes. We've got French fingerlings, we've got banana fingerlings, and we've got Austrian crescents. 3 distinct type of fingerlings. And everything has totally died back, of course, all of the potato vines. And so we got to get to those potatoes that are under there. Hopefully they are not disturbed by the voles and all of that. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to harvest some of the beans. We've still got lots of rattlesnake pole beans that are on the trellis. We've got lots of the Appalachian greasy grit beans on the trellis, and several of the Purple Hull pink eye peas, the cow peas, basically. Really creamy, nice, delicious peas. But I found for some reason they don't all want to climb those. I've done them before on a trellis, the purple hull pink eye peas. And, I've done them before on a trellis, a cattle panel, and they grew right up the trellis. Very few of them grew out. But this year, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's a weather thing or if it's probably an over fertilization thing on my end, but they wanted to just bush out and just grow all over the place, sprawl all over. They didn't climb as much as they did in the years when I was planting them on a cattle panel trellis with virtually no fertility. Well, good stuff, but no, just mostly like Indiana clay soil. So I don't know. It's still undecided on exactly what caused that, but we still got a nice, couple half gallons of the beans, and that's enough for. I mean, realistically, with our lifestyle, because it's all about eating. Remember, it's all about the growing is a means to the eating. I mean, it's not just a means; it's also a beautiful experience in itself, of course, that we enjoy. But it's all about growing it to consume it. Okay, that's what it's all about. That's what's most important. And so realistically, I mean, one or two, realistically, one bean heavy dish per week would be good for us over the winter time, so that's what, 16 weeks, something like that, give or take, or what, 20 weeks, 24 weeks, something like that, we'll say, would be like one meal a week, something like that. So that's really not a lot of beans that you need. If we have 4 or 5 of these between the various different beans, that would be plenty. That would be quite a bit. Unless, like when I was vegetarian all those years ago, for those 2 years, I was sort of basically 95% vegetarian. And I was eating beans like all the time, all week. But I was just too bloated all the time. It just never fully adapted. And I was just too bloated all the time, having to deal with all that fiber. It was just kind of miserable. So that's what we're going to be doing there. And then if we have time, we will till up and plant the garlic. Yeah. Let's see here. Show on stage. Okay, that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. But now we're going to say, okay, size, big. Ooh, nice. Tall, wide. What do you guys prefer? That's kind of nice. I don't know what the difference is. I don't know why this is a new feature. Is this important to you guys if we put it here? Because you should be seeing it full size. They just YouTube changed a little bit, so you actually have to go down and swipe over a couple to get the live chat replay. The live chat is always on there. I put it on there every time. I click it. I make sure. Well, maybe some of them have slipped through, I'm sure. But, so what do you think, guys? Tall, regular? We'll see. So that is what we are doing. Hello, Eddie Lyles. Yes, somebody say hi, Eddie. Hi, Eddie. Like cousin Eddie. Man, guys, it's November 1st. Do you know what that means? That means Christmas lights are going up. It's acceptable anytime between this moment forward. It is acceptable to hang your Christmas lights. Okay? We are going to be doing that soon. And Eddie, the name Eddie reminded me of that because we love Christmas Vacation, the movie. I mean, it's like a national treasure. It's like a pastime to watch that, especially if there's snow outside. Wow. It just takes you back. It just takes you back. It's amazing. So, guys, one thing I'm wondering, I did want to ask if you guys have any experience with this, and do you guys have any experience hanging these kind of lights? Okay. I've been looking at them for quite some time. Walmart had them at like $40 off. They're normally $140. No, $50 off. So, so I had to get them because Amazon doesn't even, you can never find them for this cheap. So the thing is, I'm wondering, we don't have like a typical, they didn't do houses quite like this 100 years ago or whatever, at least this house. So we don't have, it's not a perfectly, there's, I don't know what you call them in carpentry or building, but there's boards that stick out. So it's not like a clean, you know, the soffit or whatever it is. It's not a clean overhang that we can attach these to, because there's boards running this way, you know, and then gaps in between. So I'm not exactly sure how we're going to hang these. We got to do some brainstorming. If anyone can send me any links, or if you've got any experience, or if you're hanging these, take a picture or a small video and explain it to me and email it to me. That would be fine. We would appreciate that, because I love the lights. We got Govee lights everywhere, but not sure how to hang these ones. Yeah. So, oh my gosh, I never put the two together. Look to Nature says, is corn maize a redundant irony? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Hello, Janet Potter. Yes. Let's see. Okay, yes, I think I fixed that, Rick. Thank you. Yes. Okay, Look to Nature says 4-inch spacing. Okay, yeah, I'm probably doing 6. I think we will do them a bit tighter this year. We're going to do 4 beds, 4 by 10 beds this year. That's going to take a lot, because the thing is that most of my growing is like fall stuff, what we could call fall stuff, because the staple crops, you know, the potatoes, sweet potatoes, corn, and tomatoes. I'll call tomatoes a staple crop, canning tomatoes, and the beans we do at the Viking North plot, okay? Because those are like the calorie crops that you have to have, and so we do those. But then in the backyard garden, we like to do the things that we want to eat fresh, you know, not necessarily the storage crops that take all season. So here it's like leafy greens, lots of different leafy greens, bok choy, yod fa, the Chinese broccoli, and basils, 5 different kinds of basil, green onions, carrots, all this good stuff. And the thing is that most of that stuff is best planted in July, really, because everything is super warm and it's ready to go. You're not trying to battle that early spring cold temperatures, and the cold tolerant plants don't like it as much as it's warming up as they ripen. They really like it to be cooling off as they ripen. That's more their natural cycle. And so I pretty much the first week of July is when you can harvest garlic here, pretty consistently. And so it's July, or yeah, I don't know why I'm not recalling that exactly. It's not June. No, it'd be July. Yeah. So that is when we harvest that, basically. And we can plant in the fall garden after that. And so we've got giant red mustard greens. We've got Swiss chard, all the good stuff. And we are fermenting so much stuff, guys. I got some stuff to show you. So that's why I'm not even going to give it a second glance. Out of, I think we have 12 beds out there. We're going to do 4. Last year we did 3. We're going to do 4 beds packed full of garlic. And we're only doing Viking garlic. We're not even messing around with any other strain anymore. Why? Why? You know, yes. Ooh, yeah. Country Livin' says, we'll be prepping a half-acre plot this fall for 3 sisters planting. Pumpkins and melons. Wish me luck. Yes, definitely. Good luck. Good luck. You would like to see the course that will be coming out, because at the Viking North plot, we've easily got a half-acre under cultivation, I would say. And that is what we show you how to do that. You know, really simple, really simple. Well, I shouldn't say too simple, just really effective, really easy once the system is in place. Yeah. Yes, let's see here. Spawn Viking Grow says kale, collard greens, parsley. Oh yeah, boatloads of parsley. Oregano. all that's still kicking out there. 36 degrees Fahrenheit this morning. Zone 4, western North Dakota. Wow, yeah, cold. I bet it gets real cold there, huh? Yeah. Let's see here. Celtic says, Nate, I have access to an abundance of clean, meaning no dyes or tapes or grossness, shredded cardboard from work. Could I layer that over my garlic instead of straw to insulate it? Definitely, you could. Yeah, you could. You just want to make sure that I can't say for sure, actually, because I've never had an abundance of shredded cardboard like that. So I haven't used it. I do know that I've used leaves several times, and the leaves mat down too much. A lot of the garlic can't poke through the leaves. They can poke through straw, they can poke through grass clippings, no problem. But leaves interlock in such a way that it's just too hard. They just don't have the energy. Some of them did, many of them did, but a lot of them just couldn't poke through. And I would uncover it and they'd be all twisted up trying to poke through, and they eventually just run out of stored energy in the bulb or in the clove. And so if it's shredded finely enough and it doesn't interlock and form like a tight mat, that would be the problem. So I can't say for sure. I think it would work as long as it's shredded enough, because if you just put a sheet of cardboard over it, some of them will be able to poke through once the cardboard gets wet enough, but most of them would just suffocate. So that's my thoughts on that. There you go, Teets. Rafter tails. There's too many rafter tails that overhang, and so that's not like a clean, like these modern homes and stuff. Colorblind Gardener says, I put down 1,000 feet of weed fabric. I'm going to put rubber roofing patch on all of the places where I had to put garden staples. Why is that, may I ask? Is that something you've done before, you've had experience, or you think that it's necessary? Because my experience with all of that says that's overkill. That's not necessary. And I probably wouldn't be putting, the rubber, kind of the chemicals. I'm just not really sure. That doesn't sound like something that I would want to be putting down if you're trying to grow food. But I don't know the exact chemistry behind it or anything like that, but my instinct just tells me that I would put down as few chemicals as possible. The staples, I never really have stuff growing through the staples unless you don't secure it well enough and it starts to rip. Or you buy if you buy the garbage fabric, it will shred. You want to buy that heavy, thick fabric. Unfortunately, the best fabric I've ever used does not do commission payments. They don't do commission, which is often the case with the best of the best. But so they're kind of hard to promote. You don't promote them in your storefront because nope, not giving one dime, not even 1% to nobody. Well, okay, then we won't promote you. But it is the DeWitt. It is definitely that. That's pretty much the best. I've had some others that are so thick it's like overkill and super expensive. It's not necessary. So you will see in the Viking growing course, we will go over the different landscape fabrics and what you need to look for, including exact links to the exact products that you will need for this system. Yeah. So if you're thinking you'll have like weeds growing up through it, very, very unlikely. Yes. Lisa T says, our first predicted frost is Sunday, November 16th, more than a month later than our usual first frost date. Just had new parsley and cilantro popping up. Yeah, we've not had a frost either. We have peppers out there, full-size pepper plants. The Just Sweet hybrid pepper is just massive and loaded with peppers. Green, although some of them are turning yellow now, but we harvested all the yellow ones, of course. But yes. Teet said, I couldn't wait any longer. I took a hand shovel and cut through my ginger rhizome and harvested a big chunk. Yes, man, ginger is just outstanding. So here we've got the fermented ginger recipe, which if you guys watched that video several years ago, then you already know how to make it. Super delicious. And we're going to go ahead and have a sip of that right now. That's what we're going to do. Let's see here. This is ginger, fresh homegrown ginger, fresh homegrown turmeric. And unfortunately, we can't grow citrus here, really. Wow. So good. So explosive. The honey that we use is from the Amish. And I'm very certain, well, not very, but mostly certain that these boxes, their hives, are right at the edge of their alfalfa fields. And because they do a system of management, we went to the farm and toured their system, and I had so many questions, and they answered every single one. And then we got to see the system in action. But they grass feed their cattle, but they do it in such a way that is very clever. They have these long fields that they've planted just the alfalfa in, and so it's all like one crop. Okay, so it's all like a type of alfalfa. They have other crops that are other slightly different types of greens, but each field is one crop. All right, and so then they have, and it's nice and thick and lush. Then they have this electric fence that goes down, so it goes down both sides. All right, let's say it's like this. It goes down both sides of the field, but then they have one here attached there's like a star-shaped wheels in the center, real lightweight, where the wire goes across. And then there's one behind them. So they each day they go out and they move the wire just a little bit further along, and it gives the cattle like 20-30 feet of the fresh greens, and they graze it like all the way down, or not all the way, but they graze it heavily. Then the next day they move that thing a little bit further and keep it up behind them as well, so that then it has time to regenerate. It was just super clever. It's complex to explain, but it was really cool. And no doubt, because this honey is unlike any honey that I've ever had. So I'm pretty sure that that's where I remember seeing the hives, because the honey is phenomenal. It does not taste like any other honey that I've had. I can just say it that way. Another good thing you guys can do with ginger, we have so much ginger, guys. We had those three 30-gallon grow bags, and we had at least 30 pounds, I would say, of ginger. I mean, seriously, well, I wouldn't say at least. We probably had at most 30, but 30 pounds, from those 3 grow bags. Yeah, we probably had 10 pounds from each bag, I would say. And we've still got a massive bag. We were going through the ferment fridge downstairs, and all of a sudden I found a massive bag of ginger. Huge, dense ginger. We're like, oh, we didn't even remember we had this bag. So much ginger off those 3. But that all comes down to dialing in the system. The nutrients are dialed in. The oxygenation is dialed in. The soil mix, it's a soilless growing media. The soilless growing media is dialed in. It's all dialed in. And so that's what you get. That is the plant expressing itself to the highest of its genetic potential in northern Indiana. But even for anywhere, that's thick, huge, plump, delicious garlic, ginger. So we cut it kind of thin like this, and we pickled it, guys. This is pickled ginger. Okay, a bunch of it. We've got like 4 of these. One of them we even canned. We tried our hand at water bath canning it just for like 10 minutes because you do add You add rice vinegar. So it tastes just like something that you get from the at like a sushi place or something. Sweet, and look at that big chunk of ginger. Intense. Man, it's basically raw ginger, except super sweet and tender and a little bit tangy. Wow, because you have sweet, the salty, the tangy. It's all together. Super good. Wow. So we've got 4 of these. We've got about 3 of these. And then we've got a bunch of it frozen. And then we got a bunch, we dehydrated some, although we don't really use dehydrated ginger for things because it gets lost too much. You might if you were like baking something, I don't really know, but I like the chunks of ginger. So this is going to be awesome. All winter, we'll just be able to pull out some, chop it up, put it into the dish, and it will be super, super good. Colorblind Gardener saying, should you soak the garlic bed with a wood ash? Sure. You know, wood ash is highly soluble in water. So that's one of the things that you can add after the fact. Or you can save, if you have limited wood ash, you can save and sprinkle it on there in the spring. That would really be a good time because it can definitely wash. It's very water soluble. So if you get heavy rains all winter, then it's going to wash a lot of that stuff away. What's up, Tara Williams? Good to see you here, my friend. Okay. Low Bandit says, I grew Meyer lemons in zone 6A in Massachusetts. I have 3 on the plant. Nice, nice. You grew them outside or inside? Yes. 1 second, guys. 1 second. I've had like rebound inflammation or something. You know, after taking that 2 rounds of those corticosteroids or whatever they were called for the infection a few weeks ago. Now my immune system is like, well, it weakened it big time for a moment, and my knees got and my joints got real achy again. It's like so I've been looking it up. Rebound inflammation, definitely. So that's sort of what I'm experiencing. Give me a moment. Okay, my friends, here it is. So, guys, remember for the Master Cleanse or the Viking Cleanse, remember you can't use Meyer lemons. Okay, I just wanted to say that because they are actually not a real lemon. They're a cross between mandarin orange and a lemon. So they have very different properties. Just to remind everybody. So let's see. Whoops. Whoops. Let's see here. So, guys, several things. Okay, my brother had a baby shower. It was a co-ed baby shower. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that. I never have. That was my first baby shower. It was more just like a party, which was super cool, and uh, it was just awesome. So, yep, baby Oliver is due in just a few weeks, less than a month, I think, or maybe 1 month, maybe 5 weeks, something like that. She's huge, though, huge, really uncomfortable, I think, ready to get it out. So it's been pretty cool, but I won't go too deep into that, but just saying that because that's going to be really cool. At that party, it was a baseball themed party, so we had like concession stand stuff, and yeah, very unhealthy, of course. And we don't eat like that, but they do, So I made I made several things, but one of the things that I made was some of this mustard. Okay, I've dialed in the mustard recipe the way we like it, and so I got so many comments on it. I just left it next to the broths and stuff like that, and people were like, "Man, this mustard, it is so spicy, guys, and so unbelievably pungent." And then there was one guy on my brother's wife's side of the family that said, and I know who he is, of course. He said, "Hey, Nate, I've traveled to Germany. I've been to Bavaria, and I've tried all of the different. I've tried so many different mustards, and we love mustard. I pay big money for high quality craft made mustards." And he said, "And this is the best mustard I've ever had." I thought, whoa. I mean, that's a serious compliment. And he's not just saying that. I know this guy. Well enough to know that he's not just saying that. And so he really liked it. I mean, that was amazing. So I gave him the rest of it. So here we go. And now I know what he's getting for Christmas. Definitely. But that's really encouraging because I know I like it this way. But for a lot of people, I thought it was too um, uh, I thought it was just too intense for other people. It's almost like people were like, "Is there horseradish in that or wasabi?" I was like, no, there's not. It's several different kinds of mustard seeds. It's a big process. You got to ferment it and all that stuff. But wow, super delicious. Okay, just saying that. Okay, came highly recommended. I too have been to Germany and parts of Bavaria and stuff, so I do know the taste, and it's wonderful. Colorblind Gardener says, "I definitely have a tendency to go overkill." You're preaching to the choir there, my friend. It's like if we're not going overkill, then we're not doing it enough. Let's see. Oh, they are outside and survived a frost. You're talking about the Meyer lemon plants? Lime plant too. Nice. Mom Computer, yes, says Nate. All those fermented probiotics that you eat will help build the good bacteria in your gut and rebuild your immune system. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no problem. And I sense that, definitely. It's just that, when you're used to never getting a touch of anything, or you're used to just feeling fantastic like all the time, then having that kind of weirdness is you just notice it. You notice it. But no, everything is perfectly fine. And speaking of probiotics, guys, this ended up being the winner. Okay, this ended up being the winner. There's no doubt about that. And so we made several more of these. Look at that. We made several more of these, and we're going to make several more again. Because if you guys like dill pickles, you have to try this. It is so superior to any dill pickle. It doesn't taste like a beet, at least with the betinas. Okay, I don't know about the cylindras yet. We have one that is all cylindra, which now that I think about it, we didn't label which one is which. Oh, but we'll remember. We'll remember. Anyways, so it doesn't taste like a beet, really. It doesn't. The fermentation process and the dill and the other ingredients that are in here really make it just every part of a dill pickle that you want to have super crispy. It's tender but crunchy. Crunch, crunch, crunch. and not at all watery tasting. Soured, very soured and delicious, a little slightly salty. It's just everything that you could want from a dill pickle, except way more nutrients. Cucumbers have virtually nothing in them. I mean, they do. They have electrolyte. They do, but nothing compared to a beet, especially a beet grown in super nutrient dense soil. They are mega nutrient dense. Okay, all kinds of good things that you're getting. Pickles are virtually empty, compared to beets. So, and we just have a little tray of them with dinner. Eat them raw. Tegan eats them raw. So, what more could you ask for? I mean, raw fermented beets. Amazing. Megan says, Nate, do you use your ferments as is, or do you incorporate them into recipes? So we don't really. So we would incorporate things like this, like fermented or pickled ginger. We would some we will eat fresh. This we will eat fresh. This we always eat fresh. Okay, this is just for snacking. It's like candy, except amazingly good for you. But other things like the fermented cabbages and all that stuff, no, it's always pretty much just a top dressing because I don't want to cook it. I don't want to, cut it up and put it into recipes really. So I like to have it be something distinctly different, like a topping, like a relish type thing, like a bonus. And so that when you eat things, you taste a very distinct flavor of it, right? That is one reason why this year, all right, this is turmeric. This is our fermented turmeric. It's turmeric and black pepper, which if you know anything about Ayurvedic medicine, you know that the two go really good together for reasons of absorption. And so this is just turmeric that we grew, but we did not pulverize it to the same degree as last year because it sort of gets lost a little bit when you pulverize it. Same with the ginger. We minced it really fine, almost pureed it last year when we fermented it. And it gets kind of lost in the dishes. So we like it to be, and when I'm making stir fries and stuff, I chop it more coarse, because you'll get a bite where you taste the ginger or you taste the floral essence of the turmeric. It's really wonderful. So those kind of things we will incorporate. Also the sauces like the harissa or the arroz pista, those kind of things we will incorporate a lot of times, but all of the fermented cabbage, the daikon radish, fermented carrots, all that kind of stuff, we pretty much just have as a side. We'll have, like in the wintertime, we'll have a meat and then a starch, a sweet potato or potato, or grits, or sometimes steel cut oats, these kind of things. But then we will have several different ferments, mostly just a meat, potatoes, and several different ferments over the winter. And that works really good for us. I love it. Fresh, crunchy, raw veg from the garden all winter. Oh yeah, Big Will Dog says, all dudes who are around a pregnant woman say, she's huge. What you're supposed to say is, she's beautiful and glowing. Well, that is also true, though. She looks very, very healthy. But I think it's gotten to a point now where she's just so big, and she's really, really tiny otherwise. She's like 5'2" and 100 pounds. Like really tiny. And I think she gained like 45 pounds, all right there. That's like half her body weight almost. I mean, to gain 40% of your body weight has to be kind of uncomfortable, So she's just like ready for it to go, I mean, ready for that part of it to be over, I would imagine. What's up, Brian Airy, my friend? I haven't seen you here in a while. Says, hey, Nate and Tribe, hope all is well. Any word on the Thrive Tribe? It's getting to be time, man. It's getting to be time. I just need to figure out this software, this OBS software, because we will do the Thrive Lives from the studio. And so they will be like podcast quality, which is important to me. I know it's not as important to you guys, but It's very important to me, especially moving forward with the sort of new setup that we have as far as content creation, course making, podcasting kind of stuff. So it's just the way that we're going to do it. And I don't want to restart the Thrives until I can do it properly. When that happens, you guys will all know. It will be awesome. Yes. Donald Hughes says steroids make you feel like Superman, but after you will feel the pain again. And if the tooth was close to your sinuses, you will have that effect. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was right up in there. Right up in there. But they pulled that thing. Oh, man. It was crazy. Yeah. I thought it was going to be a lot more like yanking and pulling and stuff. And it was a real tiny female nurse or dentist or ortho dental surgeon. And I was like, what? She's gonna have to get like a breaker bar out and stuff like that. But no, it came out real. I mean, not easy. But she was just like, okay, you're gonna feel some wiggling. And my head was like, she's okay, it's out. I was like, whoa, I didn't feel anything except immediate relief. Wow, immediate relief. Yeah, I know. I know. It's just that right now is time where we are preserving so much from the garden. I mean, it is absolutely go time. So we are like, for example, right now we have to come home after the event today, and we have to finish making the lard because we just got gifted a hog from Camille's really close family friend, and gifted us a pastured hog, 100% or not 100% pastured, definitely eats the corn and soybean mix, but has exposure to full sunlight, roams, has a big pen, open sunlight and stuff like that. Really, really healthy. And so it's got all the vitamin D. Yeah, the lard has got the vitamin D, and the meat is absolutely delicious. And it prompted me to doing a deep dive over the past couple of months into pork. And I was like so many people for a long time thinking that pork was in some way inferior to beef in its nutritional composition. But the deeper you research, it's actually very, very nutritious, pork is, and very comparable to beef in every way. Better in some things, inferior in some things, but better in some things as well. More nutrient dense in certain things. And then you hear, oh well, pigs don't have sweat glands, so all their toxins just build up in their body. I was like, is that really true? That doesn't make any sense. How would it live even for one day if that was the case? And so I just dive deep into that and looking at different sources and resources, and then using my own critical thinking. And then you can just come to find out that that is pretty much a myth and not important. Pork is no more toxic than any other meat whatsoever. And hogs are quite clean animals, especially when we were out there picking his brain, visiting. And I was really asking him, about their lifestyle and stuff. Just lots of things that we've learned with that. And so it really got us enthused about the hog. And so we went and we got it. And I think it's 300 pounds of meat. We got the bones, which we're making a faux base for, yeah, with the star anise and the cloves and ginger. We're making a bone broth that's right out of the jar for pho, the Vietnamese or Asian soup, yeah. Some people call it pho, and, it doesn't matter. They call it different things in Vietnam. They pronounce it both ways. And so it's really particular though. It's got the fennel seeds in it and stuff like that. So I made that with the green onions, super, and the pork bones. Super delicious, guys. It's amazing. Also, the lard. So there was tons of lard, and we rendering that down. So it's in the oven right now. Had to shut it off because we're going to the thing, but we got to come back and finish rendering it. That's my favorite way to do it, is in the oven at a certain temperature for a certain time. So we've got the lard going right now that needs to be canned tonight. we've got the bone broth that needs to be, will have its initial gelling over. We have to cool it and remove the stuff. And then if you watch my bone broth tutorial in the Viking cleanse course, then you understand exactly what I'm talking about. And then we also have tons of ground pork that we got, and tons of things to make into bacon, jowl bacon. What's you guys' favorite way to use jowls? Jowls. What's you guys' favorite way to use that? Is there a particular thing we need to do with it? Because I smoked one of the hocks, and we're going to use it to make a huge batch of collard greens. Yes, collard greens. So, a lot going on right now. Guys, I just want to say, unfortunately, my water drop RO system that I've been raving about for 2 years, and I bought everyone in the family one, basically. My brother and Camille at her place has one, and my parents have one. But then a couple of months ago, I started having issues with mine, and it was $1,000, and it's been working beautifully this whole 2 years. And I've been using it every day. It's just amazing to have on tap, clean, pure RO water. And the one that I got, which was $1,000, even had the TT, to dissolve solids number. It has a live gauge on it, just to let you know what you're getting. And so I was super happy with it. Clean water on demand, really delicious. Changing the filters and everything. Then started having problems with the pump a couple of months ago. And then, I was nursing it along. Eventually, now though, it just broke down completely. And the pump no longer pumps at all. The whole entire machine's broke. And so I said, this is horrible, because I've been recommending it to my tribe for some time now. It's even in the Amazon storefront. And yes, TDS, Total Dissolved Solids. Thank you, Miller. I was thinking, what was the other thing? Not EEC. Oh, okay. Anyways, I used to be in that world a lot. But so it broke down, and I was like, well, this is terrible, because I've been recommending them, and everyone in my family has one. And so I got to make sure they can fix this. And they were like, okay, yes, we want to work with you right away, and send us pictures of the serial numbers, and let us know, blah, blah, blah. When did you buy it? How did you buy it? So, okay, bought it through Amazon, all of that stuff. And they were like, okay, yes, we can help you resolve this immediately. Now, we are going to have to charge you a 41% service fee, because it's over the 1-year warranty. I was like, 1-year warranty? They're like, yeah, so since it's out of warranty, it's going to be $341 service charge. And I was like, okay, look, there's no way that I'm going to pay that, because what about in another 2 years? Is it going to break again? And then I got to pay so in 2 years, I could buy 2 of them, basically. Or in 4 years, I'll have bought 2 of them just to have a working pump. I said, no, I bought the $1,000 one because I thought it was going to last me 10 years, or at least 5 years. They've ghosted me. They've totally ghosted me. And I've responded, they've just ghosted me. They're like, all right, well, screw off then. Buy a brand new one if you want. So absolutely cannot recommend that company anymore. Total nightmare dealing with them. Not standing behind their product. 2 years and it broke on this super expensive pump. This water filter, really unfortunate. Yeah, really unfortunate. So I'm going a different route, because you can buy other ones for less than $400. So I'm going a different route. Yeah, I'm going a different route. And through my research on Amazon, a lot of the other ones are just the same thing rebranded at some Chinese factory. So it's unfortunate, because we use that thing all the time. All right. And just wanted to say that. And that's the Water Drop Company. Total joke of a customer service. Does not stand behind their product. Broke after 2 years. Ghosting me completely because I refused to pay $341. So sorry, guys. Sorry about that. You know, sorry about that. So let's see here. You guys talking? So yes. Look to Nature says, as a hog owner, they are very clean animals and brilliant too, unfortunately. Yes. Yeah, we had hogs in the mountains, but just like one at a time, or two sometimes, in California. And we fed them things, everything, anything. I mean, literally, it doesn't matter. Any slop, anything that's food at all, you just give it to them and they'll eat every last drop of it. So that is my experience with them is that they have been bred for thousands of years to close the loop on a homestead. You know, whatever the other animal or whatever you don't use, whatever you're not composting, they're like a compost, except they will give you this beautiful fat and protein and vitamins and minerals out of it. So it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. Oh, absolutely. Lisa T says, our beef from Jerry Bates is harvested very young and small, almost like veal. Your thoughts on cooking and nutrient density? Oh, yeah. We get, it's been a while now, but we get a lot of our beef from Jerry as well. So absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Now, Jerry's is one of the few places that is 100% grass-fed only. Very few, a lot of places that claim grass-fed by law don't have to be 100% grass-fed. They can, a certain portion of their life, but then the last few months of their life, they can fatten them up big time with the grains. And they do that, and they can still call it grass-fed. But Jerry's is only grass. You know, he's got lots of acreage, and so he manages the fields, feeds them only the grass. So we love it and it's a totally different type of meat. It's not nearly as dark as other meat. It is super tender when you cook it right. You know, very. It does not take nearly as long to cook as other meat. You don't want to overcook it. We love it in stir fries. We love all the different roasts and stuff like that. The chuck roasts and we make roast beef sandwiches. You know, with certain cuts. It's been awesome. So yeah, guys. Now I know that Jerry. Well, I just talked to him last week for a while. So if you guys are wanting, I don't know if they have any spots, but batesfamilyfarm@yahoo.com. You can email them and get on their list. Super high quality meat. Although if you're not accustomed to 100% grass-fed meat, it's going to be different than what you get from the store. All right. It's just different. Much more lean. All right. They're extraordinarily lean, we can say, in many ways. So, but the roasts and stuff like that, still plenty of marbling, still delicious, works really good, no problem. Let's see. Brian Aries says, thank you, Nate, for the knowledge. Meditation, sauna has changed everything for the better. Fasting and hopefully be able to add cold plunge to the routine. Life and knowledge is a beautiful gift. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. And I'm glad to hear that you got the practices going on. Definitely. And I haven't seen Big Wes here, but I wanted to, and I'll keep this around, but I just got this back. So let's see here. I don't want to give away any, P.O. Box 910. Okay, so this one, me and Look to Nature conspired to send Big Wes in Canada a thing, a care package. So it's definitely, but it says return to send. So I just wanted to show Big Wes that we thought about it. See, Wesley, yes, Wesley Douglas. So I will do it when I see you in the chat next time. But if you watch this after the fact, we tried. I thought it'd be cool, and Look to Nature prompted it, gave me your address and stuff. But Turns out, even though you put 3 stamps on it and stuff, you can't send them like that. So news to me, but just wanted to let you know we were thinking about you. Yeah, Lisa T, I know. We add a pinch of sea salt. We add a pinch of sea salt. We do not use the mineralizers because I don't always want the minerals in it. For things like, we actually use it for the steam sauna as well. We split the gallon between the generators, and so it steams. So and I also use it for the wood-fired sauna outside. When we splash the water on it, I don't want those volatile fluoride and chlorine and all that stuff, vaporizing to then breathe it in. So no, but sea salt is the ultimate thing for the water. Dang. Lisa T, you should send me some information on that. It says, we went with a local family-owned Aqua Systems RO system. Still going strong after 15 years. Service every 12 to 18 months is $200. Okay, so that's a serious... so you got a whole house RO system, is that right? Because ours is just under the sink. Ours is just under the sink. So it's just on-demand tap there, not whole house. Yeah, Rick says grass-fed beef take extra 6 months to fatten up. Yeah, Jerry's definitely are not. They're like 9 months old, I want to say. I mean, they're young and small, but super tender. They're still on milk from their mom when he takes them in. Ah, yes, Donald Hughes. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate the contribution. $5 via PayPal. Says, thanks for the Viking knowledge. Best garden ever, except sweet potatoes, but wild tomato took over. Next year, contractor bags away from the garden. Yes, don't be too hard on yourself, because sweet potatoes are one of the most difficult crops to grow here in northern Indiana. I mean, technically, we can't even grow them here, but you can, definitely, but you got to do it right, all right? You got to do it right. They need a loose, loamy soil, good amounts of moisture, and a long time. They just do, and not too much fertility, as we both know. Yes. What's up, Dietrich and Dana? What's going on, my friends? Hope that you had some good gardening season this year. Yes, good to see you here. Got a Viking growing system course coming out. Yes, got gardenlikeaviking.com. Remember all those years ago we talked about all that stuff? And I had no idea what any of that really even meant. But you were like, no, you got to have a website. You got to have a brand name. You got to have a trademark, all that kind of stuff. I didn't really know about any of that. But now I do. And now we got it all kind of happening. So, okay, guys. Well, we have to cut it short this day. Remember, guys, look, though, what I can say here about that offset smoker. I don't know if I told you guys about it. I think I did. But we got gifted just it's a char grill. Just a cheap one, but it works fine for us. It was free. And so I have a lot of experience smoking the meats. Electric box smoker, a Weber kettle smoker, definitely, but never had a true offset smoker. And man, we put a whole mess of peppers on that offset smoker last week. And let me just go ahead and show you a quick thing real quick. Let's see here. And oops. Okay, so let's see here. Oh yeah, guys. guys, check it out. We got them Ivarsky sweet peppers on here. We got the oak wood. We got some oak. We got some hickory. Oh, yeah. And we got the lute shower peppers back here. And these are a spicy Hungarian paprika. Super delicious, but pretty fiery. These are sweet, and they are going to really absorb the smoke flavor. The Ivarsky is my favorite of all peppers to do this with because it has really thick flesh that holds on to the smoke flavor nicely. So it makes a wonderful, buttery, rich, smoky paprika when we dehydrate it and then grind it. So we're going to keep this fire going here for about 5 hours with the oak and the hickory, and then we're going to dehydrate them. Then we are going to... Yeah, so that's what we're doing, okay? That's the kind of thing that we got. And it was about 5 or 6 hours that we did that and kept just adding more smoke, more wood. And man, what it has produced is so far beyond any other smoked pepper that I've had. It's unbelievable. So they were like, the peppers are heavy with the resin, with the smoke resin. I mean, they're heavy. It's amazing. The smell is, it's just unbelievable. Oh my gosh, this is by far the best way to do it. Look, see, I said smoked sweet peppers A+. Put that on there because we have 2 of these from that batch. Super good. Wow. Way beyond the other smoked peppers as far as their ability there's just so much more wood in there and so much more smoke. And it was just, the thing was bellowing out smoke. And it's just amazing. Okay. So that's what that is, guys. All right. Thank you all very much for being here. I appreciate you guys, and we will see you next week. We'll have the full time next week probably. So do all your shopping on Amazon through the Viking storefront. If you guys want these fermentation lids, I've got several questions about them. I put the link in the description. It's like the first link in the description. It's also in my Amazon storefront now under food preservation, but highly recommend. These are the best ones. Really like them. They're like maybe $10 for, you get like 7 of them or something like that. So it's pretty awesome. I forget how much it is, but oops. Celtic says, did you harvest all these in one go or save them in the fridge until you had enough? Whoops. No, that was all one go. And that was actually not even all of them. We actually had much more than that. We probably had equal that amount that we didn't put on there from the garden. See, because these are like a little ad that I'm making for the Viking growing system course, so no, that's a boatload. And we had 6 plants, I think 6 of the Ivarsky plants. It's just amazing. Okay. So, all right, guys, we'll see you next week.